Alright guys, if you're a complete beginner in DeFi and you need to learn how to get into a swap, then this video is for you. If you're already staking, if you're already farming, then you probably are going to already know everything in this video, and you can share this video to people who want to learn how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to go from Binance coin, the native token on the Binance chain, which is BNB. I'm going to teach you how to swap that into ketchupswap, or a DeFi farming protocol's native token. In this case, it's Ketchup Finance, but this will apply to just about any farm. I'm going to teach you how to go from BNB to Ketchup, and then once you have Ketchup, I'm going to teach you how to stake in the pools, and I'm going to teach you how to form an LP pair, and I'm going to teach you how to farm. So I'm going to do it in that order, and I'm going to have timestamps in the description below. So if you already know how to go from BNB to Ketchup, or if you already know how to pool, or if you already know how to farm, but you don't know how to do one of those things, or maybe you don't know how to do two of them, you can click on the time links and go exactly to where you need to be. All right. So the first thing is first, in order to stake at all, either in the pools or the farms, you're going to need the native token, which is Ketchup. And since we're on the Binance network, you're probably going to have BNB. So if you head on over to ketchupfinance.com, you can see it up here in the URL, ketchupfinance.com. Now keep in mind, I am going to zoom in so you guys can see a little bit more. On your screen, you're going to be able to see more. It looks slightly different just because I'm zoomed in. Also keep in mind that with ketchupswap, they recently migrated from the Pancake LPs to Cafe Swap LPs. A lot of farms do that, and the ketchupswap did that as well. So I'm not going to tell you how to migrate in this video. That'll be for a different video. This is more of an entry. But if you're entering now into Ketchup, you don't have to worry about migration. What you want to do is you want to just use the Cafe Swap LPs. So you can completely ignore this right here where it says Trade Pancake Swap if you're new to this farm. If you've already pooled and staked with the Pancake LPs, then you will need to watch the other video if you don't know how to migrate. That's not going to apply to people who are just now getting in and the purpose of this video. So keep that in mind. So we're here and we have BNB in our wallet, and we want to get Ketchup so we can use this protocol. So you're going to hit Trade Cafe Swap on the left hand side. You're going to hit Exchange. That's going to bring you to Cafe Swap. That's where the liquidity is. So that's where we can do our swapping from BNB to Ketchup. So when you're farming and when you're staking, this is what you're doing. You're making it possible for us to swap between other tokens, okay? And you get rewarded for that. So that's what I'm showing you how to get involved in. The first thing you need to do is change some BNB into Ketchup. Now I already have Ketchup, and I'm just doing this for test purposes. So I'm only going to exchange 0.01 BNB into 70 Ketchup, okay? Now, keep in mind, this is just specifically for right now. The Binance network is a little bit slow. It's not bad at all. It has nothing to do with Ketchup, but I'm going to show you how to make sure your transactions go through when the Binance network is slow a little bit. Regardless of that, one other thing I need to say before we make this swap. When you're working with farms that have a lower amount of liquidity, they're newer farms, you may have to raise the slippage amount. Now the slippage is going to vary how much you receive. When I transfer from BNB into Ketchup right now, the slippage is like the middleman kind of that allows for that transaction, and you might have to increase that a little bit when there's low liquidity. It's completely normal, and nothing specific to Ketchup. So no matter what you're swapping between, if you're getting errors, hit this settings button. And right here, you want to increase the slippage tolerance. I usually go from 6 to 12%. Excuse me. I usually go 6 to 12%, and that usually works. And the other thing you want to keep in mind, let's say you go on the high end, like I'm on 12% right now. It's going to take the lowest amount. So if you only needed a slippage of, let's say, 6% and I put it on 12, it's going to use the 6%. So that's more like a maximum. So I put it to 12. And then you just hit swap. Confirm swap. If you're doing this for the very first time, you might have to hit approve and then confirm swap, but it's just that simple. Now, I don't think you guys can see this for security reasons, but my MetaMask pop-up just came up and it wants me to confirm this transaction. Now, what I was talking about earlier, when the Binance network is a little bit slow and you want to make sure that your transaction goes through, in this MetaMask pop-up, you can increase the gas price. It says gas fee. Under that, it says gas price and GUI. GUI is the currency that's used for gas, for paying gas transactions on the Binance network. So right now it's set to 5. I just bring it up to 6. And that's going to make sure that my transaction goes through. Now, I might not had to have done that, but I've been making swaps today, and the Binance network has been a little bit slow. So that's why I'm doing that. I just want to make sure that it goes through. So now you can see this thing pops up and says transaction submitted. I can close that, and then we just wait for the pop-up to arrive, telling us that the transaction went through. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can see that transaction or not, but it's in the bottom right of my screen right now, and it just went through. It says confirm transaction, and you can see right here it says swap 0.01 BNB for 70 Ketchup, view on BSC scan. If you wanted to see that transaction on the chain, you would hit view on BSC scan right now. For these purposes, I don't really need to. So now we have our Ketchup. What we just did was we took BNB and we swapped it for Ketchup. Now that we have that, we can hit the backspace and go back to Ketchup Finance. And first, I'm going to show you how to stake in the pools because it's a little bit simpler of a process. It does not involve creating LP pairs, okay? So now that you have your Ketchup, you want to go to pools. And you see this Ketchup pool right here? That's where we're going to stake our tokens. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now, also keep in mind, when it comes to the pools and even with the farms, you don't necessarily need to have Ketchup. You see, we could have staked BNB. We could stake BUSD. We could stake Cake, Bunny, BTCB, Ethereum, DOT, Uni. So you can see there's all these different choices. Now I chose to do Ketchup because Ketchup is a native token and I wanted to support this ecosystem. But if you don't have Ketchup and you just have something else, I showed you how you can swap to Ketchup, but let's say you don't want to, you can just stake your Cake on here. All right? And the same thing goes with the farms. You can use Ketchup pairs, and we'll get into what a pair is. Excuse me. Or you can do BNB and BTCB, or BNB and Litecoin, which is a pretty crazy pair. BNB and Litecoin, that's 2 different chains. Litecoin is a fork of Bitcoin. So that's pretty cool that Ketchup Swap is doing that. You could do BNB and Dogecoin. Same situation going on there. So technically, to get involved in Ketchup Swap, you didn't even need to do the first step I just told you, which was swapping for Ketchup. All right, so let's go back to the pools, and I'm going to show you how to stake Ketchup once you have it. You're going to hit this button right here that says stake tokens. You're going to hit, you can hit maximum if you want to stake them all. I'm still going to use some to show you how to form an LP pair. So I'm going to stake, let's say I have 1,100. So let's just stake 250. Actually, let's make an even number. So I'll stake, how about 401. So that'll leave me with 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So actually I want to do 301. That's just to give me a nice even number to make my LP pair. You guys don't really need to worry about that too much. So I want to stake 301, and so I hit approve. Then the MetaMask pop-up is going to come up again. You guys probably can't see it, but all you need to do is hit confirm, and I'm going to increase that gas price just like last time, just to make sure it goes through. So I hit confirm, and then we're going to wait for that to go through, just like when we made the swap. It usually doesn't take too long. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Okay, so it's approved. Now we see that we have our 301 ketchup staked, just like we did in the transaction. So everything worked perfectly. And you can see that there's 0 deposit fee. So we did not lose any ketchup for making that transaction. And you can see I'm already starting to get rewards. Okay, so we're getting a 2,000% APR on this pool. The thing about the native tokens is it's pretty much always has the highest APR. And in a lot of cases, there's no deposit fees. That's to incentivize you to use the native token instead of, like how I said before, you can just use cake or bunny or something else. So they incentivize you to use ketchup with a couple different things. So that's how you stake. That's all you need to know. And then when you're ready to harvest, you hit this harvest button, and you would hit, and then that MetaMask confirmation is going to come, and you just hit confirm. Now, I'm not going to do that right now, only because you have to pay a gas fee for every transaction that you make on the network. You have to pay a gas fee. So I'm going to let my rewards get a little bit higher before I pay that gas fee. Okay, so now you know how to stake. Now I'm going to show you how to create an LP token, a liquidity pair, and I'm going to show you how to farm that. So, like I said before, KetchupSwap is currently migrating to CafeSwap liquidity. So you want to make sure you go to this trade CafeSwap. Hit liquidity this time instead of exchange. Actually, I want to exchange half. Okay, so let's actually hit it liquidity first. Actually, hold on. My apologies. First, we want to see what are our options when it comes to farming. So hit farms, go to CafeSwap, because that's where we want to be. Now, there's currently 2 pools in the new LP. We have Ketchup BNB and we have Ketchup BUSD. Now what you choose is dependent on a couple different factors, but you're going to have to decide that for yourself at the end of the day. You want to take a look at the APRs, and you want to look into something called impermanent loss. Now, I have a video that explains impermanent loss, and if you aren't familiar with that term, you definitely want to know what that means before you start farming. So I'll put the link to that video in the description as well, and there's a lot of resources on impermanent loss if you're lost, if you are lost about impermanent loss. Personally, I like to go Ketchup BNB over Ketchup BUSD. That's just my take on impermanent loss and how it affects your farming. And I like that. I like the odds on this farm better. So now that I know what farm I'm going to join, I need to take some ketchup and I need to take some BNB and I need to pair them together so I can stake them here in this farm. So that's where we're going to go back to trade CafeSwap. Instead of exchange, actually we do need to do exchange this time. I'm going to exchange half of my ketchup. So when you form a pair, you're going to have equal value on both sides. So I'm forming a ketchup swap and a BNB pair. That means I need to have, let's just say hypothetically, $20. I need to have $20 of ketchup and I need to have $20 of BNB. So what that means is you need to have equal weight on both sides. So what I'm going to do, an easy way to do that, is you take your ketchup and you switch half of it for BNB or whatever that other pair is. If it was BUSD, I would switch this to BUSD right here. Okay? But I want BNB. So I'm going to swap half of my ketchup for BNB. 400 ketchup and 0.058 BNB. Hit swap, confirm, and I'm going to have to confirm that in my MetaMask just like usual, but I know you guys can't see that, but I'm sure you're familiar with it. And if you're not, it's very easy. It literally just says confirm You want to hit that. Transaction submitted. So now we just wait for that to go through. It usually takes only a couple seconds. And like I said, okay, so it's confirmed. You see it in the bottom right, and you can see it up here. So we traded 400 ketchup for 0.058 BNB. Now we want to go back. Now we have the tokens we need to form the pair. So now we want to go trade cafe swap on the left-hand side of the home page. Now we're going to hit liquidity this time. Now we're going to form that pair. So you see now this is a plus sign. We're not swapping now. We're linking these two things together. So I want to put ketchup as the main one just because for me it's like neater. And I know that I want to add all my ketchup to this. So I'm going to hit maximum ketchup, and now you see we have that 0.058 BNB, and we're going to link these two things together by hitting supply. Confirm supply. MetaMask comes up, and you're going to hit confirm just like we've been doing. Now you can see it says submitted. We can close, and we're going to wait for that to confirm just like everything else. There we go. It's confirmed. Now, a lot of times you're not going to see your LP in your wallet. You might or you might not. A lot of times you don't see your LP. But when you come over here, so now we can hit back. We want to go back to Ketchup Finance. Now we're ready to actually start farming. So we go to farms, and we've been working with the cafe swap. Now remember, we did Ketchup BNB. So approve contract. Confirm. Wait for that to transact. So these are all smart contracts that we're interacting with, okay? Now we're going to hit stake LP, and you can see we have our LP that we formed right here. It says 4.2124. I want to stake them all, hit maximum, and hit confirm. Now you can even hit this button for a one-click get ketchup BNB, but we already made it. We already have it. All right, so now you're going to hit confirm one more time in MetaMask, as always. And we're just going to wait for that to go through. Perfect. Now you can see, just like in the pools down here, it says 4.212. That's how much ketchup BNB we have. And you can see we're already starting to get rewards. Same thing, you hit harvest to collect your rewards and then go immediately to your wallet. Now, difference between the farms and the pools are, the farms are where you're creating liquidity pairs. And because of that, you generally receive a much higher APR. So that should pretty much cover a couple different things. And then if you go on the home page, you can see some stats about ketchupswap. You can see what you have to harvest, and you can see how much you have in your wallet. And when you go to harvest, you just hit harvest. It's that simple. So let me minimize this again. And just as a very brief overview before we finish, what we learned how to do in this video, we learned how to go from BNB. Let's say all you have is BNB. From there, you learned how to swap into ketchup, and you could swap into multiple things as well. We didn't have to swap into ketchup. We could have swapped all kinds of different tokens. So we went from BNB to ketchup, and then we learned how to pool, and we learned how to farm. I hope that clears up some stuff, guys. If this is your introduction into ketchupswap, I do ask you to please use my referral link. If you're on ketchup and on the left-hand side, you hit referral. All you got to do, I'm going to have my link in the description. Before you start this whole process, just click on my referral link, and that's going to help me out a lot with no cost to you. And you guys can also share your referral links and earn on other people who join the program. So it's a good way to market. It's a good way to spread ketchupswap. I encourage you guys to take a look at that system. And if this is your first time in the project or you haven't used anyone's referral link, please, all you got to do is go in the description and click on that link. So I want to say thank you one more time, guys. I want to say thank you to the ketchupswap team, to the community, everybody who watches this video, if this video is too beginner for you and it wasn't for you, keep in mind that you can always share it to somebody who does need to know this information. Thank you guys, and keep on farming.